Hello and welcome to VendOp News, where I cover the weekly happenings in the supply chain and procurement market. My name is Jay Bartels, and let's just dive right in. The first article today talks about the supply chain demands of the pending COVID-19 vaccines. Several pharmaceutical companies have vaccines that are almost ready, but every vaccine brings with it different logistical demands. The first anticipated to roll out is from Pfizer, and it must be kept at temperatures colder than Antarctica in winter. With a minus 94-degree transport requirement, Pfizer's vaccine has caused concerns about the availability of dry ice throughout the supply chain. The Compressed Gas Association is saying that there is sufficient supply for the vaccines, but other players are not as confident. Moderna's vaccine is next in line for approval and luckily does not require the stringent cold of Pfizer's vaccine. Moderna's vaccine can be held in most standard freezers, and freezer purchases are surging in preparation. Both state and local governments are requesting more federal funding to accommodate the supply chain requirements. And right now, a lot of that money is going towards mass orders of freezers and other cold storage. The vaccines anticipated from AstraZeneca, Oxford, and Johnson & Johnson actually don't require freezers at all. They can be stored safely in a standard refrigerator for months. But regardless of which vaccine is being administered, the last mile of delivery in every case remains a challenge. Inequalities in healthcare accessibility and transportation make fair and equitable access an immense challenge. Determining the priority of recipients, as well as organizing all data communications, must be complete before the first shot is even administered. And the system must be prepared without ever knowing which vaccine they will actually be distributing. One specialist from the Mayo Clinic described it as a complicated process now happening at supersonic speed. The last mile will be the toughest, but supply chains are rising to meet this important challenge. Our next article takes a look at a few more supply chain challenges currently being dealt with in relation to the pandemic. Consumers are once again starting to panic buy, causing surges in everything from toilet paper to aluminum cans. And experts are asking companies to pay closer attention to the multiple tiers in their supply chain. Many networks are so complicated that companies are not even aware of who their second, third, or fourth tier suppliers are. With the pandemic mostly under control in China, they have once again been able to ramp up manufacturing. However, many transportation and logistics challenges remain when it comes to moving goods from China to the US. One challenge is the shortage of containers in China, causing carriers to opt for returning to China with empty containers rather than waiting to fill them with US exports. Air cargo capacity remains at less than half of full capacity as most international air travel remains suspended. Booking shipments by either container or air cargo has become incredibly difficult for manufacturers. Prices are spiking, and many manufacturers are realizing they remain ill-equipped to import what they need. This brings onshoring to the top of many solution lists, but experts are doubtful that consumers will pay the higher prices that onshoring will create. Our final article today takes a look at GE appliances. They had just begun a digital supply chain upgrade with Blue Yonder when the pandemic hit. So when consumer demand soared for refrigerators and washing machines, they weren't totally prepared. But rather than pause the upgrade to cope with market turmoil, GE decided to up the pace. Production capacity was pushed to its limits as more people at home created more laundry and dirty dishes that needed GE solutions. Previously, GE made products based on customer demand forecasts. Those products were then shipped to distribution centers to wait for orders. But the skyrocketing orders from the pandemic cleared out all the appliances the company had on hand. They chose to view this as a fertile testing ground for new digital tools. GE wants to balance manufacturing and demand by connecting parts of their supply chain that previously operated on separate tracks. Customers used to place their order and receive the product in 5 to 7 days, but now they're functioning with zero inventory and real-time visibility. This visibility proved critical when customer demands underwent rapid swings at the start of the pandemic. GE says that they cannot keep up with demand despite their investments and best efforts. The new technology from Blue Yonder tracks the movements of goods from manufacturing plants to distribution centers. That info is then integrated with customer orders using machine learning to anticipate delays and shortages. The new tech also pulls info from transportation and warehouse management systems. It then harmonizes all the data so that managers can easily see when and where delays might happen and where their inventory stands at any point in time. Where once there were many entities acting independently, there is now a unified, informed supply chain. Thank you for watching VendOp News. Again, my name is Jay Bartels. I'm the CEO at VendOp. At VendOp, we maintain the performance of vendors and suppliers and save companies millions of dollars per year. If you would like to join a panel discussion with other industry leaders, reach out to me via LinkedIn or email me at jay@vendop.com. Thanks for taking the time this week.